Record.
There we go.
Thank you. This is why you're so grateful for you. Okay. How is Washington different? What are weekends of action? Steps to sign up. Where are we going? Who are we supporting? Stay tuned. And then Q&A. Of course, you're welcome to ask questions throughout. It will be easier just to answer everything at the end, just so we can get through the slides. But I think if you want to start putting stuff in the chat, that is totally okay. Last time we finished with enough time for questions, so I just want to make sure we do have that time at the end. Thank you. Please make sure to mute, and I'm happy to do that for you, so that we can all get through this just fine. Awesome. Okay, Jenny, go ahead.
All right, so hi everyone, welcome. So how is Washington different from, a regular state team? If you've been a part of a different state team, like you're wondering like, oh, like how is Washington different? So each effort is led by different people and it can change each weekend depending on where we're going, what's occurring. For example, this past weekend we had Cynthia Putman be our amazing lead in Vancouver. And then in Yakima, we also did have another group of people go with one of our leads, Olalis. But for the most part, for Yakima, either be MJ or me or another amazing lead out there. Another thing is that there's no previous commitments. You don't have to go to like orientations, team meetings or like weekly meetings. It's, as you sign up and you want to participate, we are more than happy to have you join us.
I want to just add one thing. I think as like for now during the primary, we definitely have had any, previous commitments such as orientations, but maybe just throwing it out there because it might be a possibility because we know people want information, before heading out. Sometimes we might add more of these to the fall, or we might add a previous, but we're kind of trying to hash that out and see if that's something that people want. So there is that possibility. Just want to throw it out there. Thanks, Jenny. Sorry. Oh, it's me. I'm so sorry.
So another thing is that these are shorter, more flexible, and in a way we are going most like sometimes like this past weekend we had a group of volunteers down in Yakima and Vancouver. So we might have, groups of people in those two places, and then once in the fall when we do add Bellingham or the islands, we might have, the same weekend have different groups be in different parts of Washington. And opportunities are posted as we organize with our partners. So that's why we say it's kind of flexible because we might get told like, oh, hey, next week we have this opportunity. If you want to bring some volunteers to do that. So we might, might be a month ahead, a couple weeks, or the week of. It all really does depend on the campaign or our partner organization. But also during this weekends of action, we do still have, that classic CP mojo, during carpools, getting to know, your different peers on the weekend trips, during lunch, during debriefs, or when you're walking a neighborhood, to like connect with your partner or your group.
Okay, now, yeah, go ahead.
What are weekends of action? So this is 1 to 2 days of action. We're most likely doing door knocking, voter registration. Each weekend of action will feel unique to the last. So no 2 weekends are gonna be similar. It really does depend on like what the campaign or our partners are asking for us. Maybe this past weekend it was a lot of just, in Vancouver, like getting to know who Marie is. A lot of people did not know who she was. While in Eastern Washington, it really was to get out to do door knocking for Maria Beltran and Chelsea Dimas. So it really does depend on what the campaign themselves think it's really important for that specific weekend that we're going out there.
That's a great call, Jenny. And I think also will depend, of course, on the Canvas lead, like whoever's leading you there. We trust them fully, like we trust our volunteers who are leading the groups down there. But it obviously will change, different personalities, different people. But most of the time, I mean, the last few ones we've had great energy, great, awesome. Just it's been so fun. So we do want to have that consistency of the CP way in all of our different, I guess, actions. Okay, go ahead, Jenny. Thank you. It's me. I forget. Sorry.
So another thing weekends of action is that they are shorter and closer. So that means you don't have to sign up by a deadline. You literally can sign up the week of, a couple of days before the day of. If you find yourself, this weekend I'm free, I can actually put some time to go into Yakima, go into Vancouver. So that's kind of, we're more flexible when it comes to that. It's all within driving distance. You don't need to worry about, booking a flight, booking a long trip. So this is all where carpools are essential. and encourage, if you kind of see, oh, someone's like, oh, I'm willing to go drive a group of people, being able to sign up for like that car group. So it's really more of a small group of people who are willing to go out and drive for the weekend.
And also we support like folks getting the carpool. So, in the past weekends, we have supported the Canvas lead or whoever's going down there and kind of match people up depending on people's indications on our form. There's like 3 different questions. So if you indicated that you need a ride, then we'll match you with somebody who said, I'm willing to drive. So we'll do that for you for sure if that's what you need. Awesome. Thank you, Jenny.
Okay, so now you're like, okay, so how do I sign up? So each campaign and effort will have its own sign up form, and then forms are updated with new dates as they become available. As we get told opportunities, we're making sure to update that so you guys can all see like what dates we are planning to go out there. And then once you sign up, you will receive a confirmation email, and then also the day before, like logistics of like when to meet, all your group, everyone who's joining you, like their phone numbers, names. That way, so you're able to all get to know each other, have each other's information before hitting doors.
We are doing much. I think that the day before really just wanted to put make it more flexible for us in terms of our partners, letting us know the information. Sometimes things change. So we do ask that like 100% okay with 70% certainty. In terms of, sometimes things can change. This weekend we just got notice that our location will change, not too far from the original one, but just things come up. So we do appreciate that flexibility and that understanding from volunteers. Thanks, Jenny. Okay, go ahead.
So now joining our Weekends of Action group. So step 1 would be to visit the Common Power website, and then are we gonna show how to do it?
Yeah, I think that's actually a better idea. So I just wanted to go over these steps. But yeah, the second step would be to find action and then click on but since we're here, and I think it's such a great opportunity for those who haven't visited our website in a while, we have updated it a bit so that you can find things hopefully more easily. So we're here, right? And it said the first step is to kind of toggle over to volunteer. And then if you're new with us, I think it'd be awesome to just go here and it will kind of take you step by step. But if you are ready, then find action. Da-da-da. Oh, that's fun fact. That's me. This was in Pennsylvania. And then, okay, and then you would say by activity, by location. Usually people click by location because if you're in whatever state that you want to find something nearby. So if you do by location, then you have the states that we're going to be working in this year, and you'll click Washington. And then this will take you to our Weekends of Action group. I want to just make clear that the group is just like the sign up form. You're not signing up for anything specific yet. You're just signing up to be part of the information, basically, right? The list of folks who are being sent information updates about Washington. Raise your hand if you think you're on here, but you have not received an email. Okay, good. I'm like, okay, that's good. Let me see. Let me scroll down and see if anybody. Please email us at the end of this if this is, because we want to make sure you're getting all the emails. If you're not yet, great. I'm happy that you're here so we can get you on there. But yeah, that's how you get there. So I'm going to stop my share and go back to the presentation. Oh, that's not it. Where is it? Sorry, 1 second. There it is. And that's how you get to our. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. I just wanted to make sure that folks knew how to get to the place we were talking about. And that's where you get the weekly updates. Sorry, every Monday we'll send those out.
And then also like don't worry about like getting the webs like doing the website URL. Tomorrow there'll be a follow-up email just to have all those links for everyone to find easily.
Yes.
So yeah, so basically like visiting the website to find the Washington action, being able to find action page, click on Washington on the map, and you'll be able to sign up for our Weekends of Action interest form. But also if you have any questions about Washington or in general, any questions about fieldwork, you can also email us scpvolunteerhelp@gmail.com. And that way any questions you have occurring, if there's anything happening or when it comes to like, oh, this weekend there's something going on, and you signed up, you're like, oh, actually I can't go anymore. That's the great email to just like let us know, or could ask any questions in general.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jenny, for getting us through that first kind of part of our session here. It's important to go through those details to see what you're getting yourself into when traveling with Jenny and I, or any other team lead or campus lead, I mean. But now we're going to move forward to more of the action pieces here, and what you can expect in terms of where we're going, who we're going to be working with. Right now, the Washington timeline, currently in the primaries, which we're almost done. Can't believe we're almost there with primaries. Yakima, right now we're focusing in Yakima in the LD14, which is the most renovated, well, the new legislative district in Yakima, which will allow more representation, more Latinos can finally vote for the representation that they want and they hope for. And that was not true before they created this new map. So we're really excited to join the candidates running there right now. Then in Vancouver, of course, we really need that U.S. House seat with Marie Gluesenkamp. So those are our two priorities at the moment, and will continue to be through the general election. As you see, starting September, October, November, we're going to be moving to doing more work around Washington, adding Bellingham, the LD42. We have 2 House seats to they're running again. So we need to secure those. And then in the islands, we're doing a state Senate, sorry, with Janice St. Clair running in LD10. So we have some folks already kind of inquire some information about these 2 different LDs. We'll have more information coming soon, especially right after the primary. We'll have more information about how you can get engaged with this Bellingham LD42 and the Islands LD10 candidates and campaigns. We're in talks right now, just trying to figure out what that's going to look like, and also trying to find leads for those places so we can have folks join those efforts in the fall. So that's what the timeline looks like at the moment. But it's really cool to be talking about Marie Gluesenkamp, the U.S. House. As we know, we really need this seat. She's doing a great job. She's, as I think Jenny mentioned, currently a lot of the work in the primary or leading up to the primary has been IDing Marie. Believe it or not, when I was there a few weekends ago, folks were still not sure who she was, even though she's been their congresswoman for, since 2021, 2022. So it's so important for us to be out there and show our support for her. She's getting ID'd. She's, doing well. She's going to go right through the primary. I believe there's nobody running against her in the primary. She'll go through. And then, of course, in the general election, she's going against Joe Kent, very dangerous candidate, very dangerous person to our state and to, just our government. So we really want to show some support. We had a group this past weekend saying that it went really well, that, really people at the doors are receptive about her. The messaging is really clear, and the campaign has been such a great support for us. They know we're coming. They're really excited for us. They're really grateful. So if you're planning to go to Vancouver in the fall, you'll be in great hands with the campaign, just simply, and with the canvas lead who's going to be down there, who's going to be Cynthia Putnam again. So we'll introduce her more leading up to the general in the next few weeks. We might be adding, like I said, more of these info sessions, but for sure we know that our support for Marie will continue. So yeah, that was our picture from a few weeks ago. And then Maria Beltran and Chelsea Dima. So this is our other, for LD14, we're supporting these awesome candidates who are first-time runners, but they're, running for really important positions. So Maria Beltran, both are daughters of immigrants. They very much represent the demographic of their constituents. I mean, they're young, they're also identify as Latinx, and they are immigrants. And so very much attached to their community, who they are, and why they're running is to protect and support their communities. And so it's really exciting to be working with them or alongside them to make sure that they make it to their seats this upcoming general election. I do believe they do have strong, unfortunately, Republican opponents, and so we want to give as much support to them as we can. But so far, I know Beltran for sure, know more a little bit more about her. She's gotten a big support from a lot of folks. I know Adam Smith has supported her. There's been other support from, she's been involved in the House of Representatives for quite a few times in terms of just doing work, and she's very well known in her community. Chelsea has been also part of some local government, and so she's well known as well. So we're really excited to continue to go back. This past weekend, I heard that the team down there was able to canvas with Maria, which you don't see that all the time, but she's out there. I mean, the last time that I was there, she's at the launch, as you see there. That's her in the middle, and she's greeting people, and people really, really like her. And she's excited and she's grateful that we're there to support them both. Okay, this is our upcoming weekend of action. We wanted to show a little bit about what it can look like to go to Yakima. And so I don't have a Vancouver one because we're not going to go to Vancouver this upcoming weekend, but I can definitely, this is similar to what Vancouver could also look like in terms of an agenda. Most times we'll have 2 different shifts available each day. So by each day is that we usually do Saturday, Sundays when we go down there to the weekends of action. If you remember from earlier, we mentioned 1 or 2 days of action. So Saturday, Sundays is mostly when we go and support our campaigns. This upcoming weekend, we're going to oh my gosh, I don't know if I just pronounced this, Dykstra Park in Grandview. This is all in the Yakima Valley. And we'll be meeting up with the campaign. As I said, this is an example. We'll meet up with the campaign around 9:30, 10 a.m. Then head to the doors, and then we'll have a CP lunch the CP way as we do anywhere else, because we want to continue that mojo, like Jenny had said. And wanted to note again that there's 2 shifts available usually per weekend, whether that's in Yakima or in Vancouver. Want to make sure that this is, of course, also a good use of your time. We know that you're going to be driving up there, so want to make sure that you have an opportunity. If you can't make the early one, maybe you can make the second shift, right? But each day will have these 2 different shifts, 10 to 1 p.m., 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 2 to 5 p.m. So you have an opportunity there to either arrive early and do both, or arrive a little later and do one. Like I said, it's pretty flexible. You can do whichever amount of shifts you want to do, and you don't have to do all of them. So that's how, I guess, flexible the Washington Weekends of Action are, and hopefully that makes it easier for you to decide, which shift you want to support. Just make sure to indicate that, of course, in the form, and if your plans change, please do let us know, just so we can inform the campaigns as to how many people we can expect. And then you see their little asterisk there. Shift times might change due to heat. We totally acknowledge there's been big heat, especially in the Yakima Valley. It gets up to 100 degrees, 105 degrees. I know that sounds crazy, and we've been able to take care of each other and just make sure that we stay hydrated. We'll go over what that looks like for the team, but this is just wanted to show a quick example of what 1 day with Common Power in Washington can be like. Okay, I wanted to run really quickly over sponsorships. This is obviously specifically for a group of people within the Common Power volunteer base, but sponsorships, just so folks know, are going to be for Action Academy, Gen Z, Action Academy, and Poder Común volunteers, and it can include, or it does include, lodging, food during trip. That includes snacks, lunch, dinner, transportation, so rideshare to meeting locations, and team activities on the ground, whatever that may be. And then please make sure, if you are a sponsored folk, or you indicate that you need sponsorship for these weekends of action. Of course, you'd have to live in Washington to be participant, but make sure to confirm your attendance as soon as possible once you get the email, so that we can start booking stuff for you. Otherwise, it gets a little hard to have to contact and make sure that you are or aren't coming with us. But it's so important to keep an eye out for that, so that we can get things ready for you. And then you do not need to commit to both days of action to receive sponsorship. Usually that's true for an out-of-state experience when we go to Arizona or Texas. because of course we're buying you a ticket, right? So a plane ticket as well. So just for these specific ones, since it's such a, you know, distance within car, then you're totally fine if you can only make one day. We can still sponsor your food, and we can still sponsor transportation, and we can still sponsor day of activities, if that's what we're doing that day. So wanted to just kind of point that out for the folks who might be in this call who might need that sponsorship. Cool. Okay. You know what, Jenny, go ahead. I feel like I need a little
No worries. Okay, so yeah, so right now in Eastern Washington, especially, it is very, very hot. So we want to make sure that, you know, we are taking hot weather precautions while we're out there, in general anyway. So some of the things we're doing is having, you know, drivers stay close to canvassers, using the car as a portable AC. So like making sure that, you know, taking breaks much as possible, especially water breaks, taking breaks during we're going out on the turf, you know, making sure you can go and, you know, get a little AC between houses, making sure, you know, not walking too far from the car as well, keeping cold water and electrolytes available, and changing shifts to evening when it's cooler outside. For example, this weekend in Yakima, they ended up canceling their evening shift because of how hot it was. So it's kind of things of being flexible, of like things might change, but also shifts might change if it's really hot in the morning and then in the evening might cool down. But most importantly, you know, those who have traveled with us, you know, we do prioritize like self well-being, and making sure you are prioritizing like taking breaks as needed, especially like in this in the summer where the temperatures really do get out of control.
Thank you, Jenny. That's great. Yeah, I think that we need a, and this is something that we have done, you know, for years, just like making sure that we're taking care of each other regardless of the weather. But you know, for folks like Rod, who I know went to Florida with me in 2020, we know that we take each other, make sure that we don't get crazy. We're just, you know, taking care of each other with the heat and everything. And have gone to other places like Texas and have done similar things to keep each other safe. So this is not just like, oh, it's random, you know, it's just because it's starting to get super hot. We always have been able to make sure that we stay safe in whatever way we need to. So thanks, Jenny.
Can I
Awesome.
just a quick comment, and I'm interrupting. We just got back from Arizona where it was 117 on the last day. And we did find techniques of making it workable by using the car and other things. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you, Rod. Yeah,
but
for
it's
sure.
possible.
For sure. And you know, and we completely understand. I remember I wrote up an email a couple weeks ago saying we totally understand if this is not meant, like this is not for you. I mean, it's hard to be out there in the heat. And so we want to do a little bit more of a, not the weather, but just different reminders, and also kind of introduce this little a different way to engage with us, but I'll do that after this. We are emphasizing best practices for our volunteers in our training before trips and while on the ground. This is again, at any trip we have with Compower, we try our best to connect with each other, make sure that we're communicating, make sure that we're safe, in ears, keep each other in eyesight and earshot. So make sure that you know where your partner is, they know where you are. Walking in pairs is super important to us because especially in places we don't know, want to make sure that we stay connected. Having drivers stay close with their phones on. Make sure that you always, if you can, bring an extra charger, like a portable charger. That minivan will suck up your batteries. So for sure, make sure that you are just have an extra one just in case, like an extra battery for your phone. Stay connected with peers and Canvas leads, text or Slack. That will be mostly decided specifically for Washington on the ground. So the form of communication may change within the Canvas lead. We try our best to make it consistent, but there's some Canvas leads that prefer to, you know, communicate with folks with on text versus Slack, but you'll figure that out with your person, with your Canvas lead. Make sure to join our 102 and 103 fieldwork trainings for deeper dive on how we take care of each other on the ground. We just give more of tips and tricks on how we support each other, especially talking to voters that might be a little hostile or like, you know, whatever the case may be, make sure that we know how to deal with certain situations. So I think 102 and 103 does a great job at putting those, diving a little deeper into that. But overall, just always remember that your safety is our priority. So whatever you need to do to take care of yourself, we are 100% behind it. Okay, this is what I was going to talk about in terms of folks who will not go out in the heat, which I do not. There's no shame in that. I think that it's really hot out there, so totally understandable. But if you have a car and you're willing to support, we are more than you are so welcome to join us. This role again is it's perfect for volunteers who are looking for ways to be involved, feel productive, and included in the energy of our work, but are not able to physically walk because of the heat or whatever reason you may have that you cannot participate in canvassing. If you are willing to be a driver, we would really appreciate it. We need volunteers who are signed up and want to take action. I think this might have been repetitive a little bit. Sorry about that. But basically, we need committed drivers and drivers on standby for different weekends that we have planned. I think this is going to be really actually essential in the fall because we'll have much more people signing up for weekends of actions, and we're hoping that we get committed drivers, so we know that we have those drivers ahead of time before the weekend, and then as we get eager to because there's students and folks who might not be able to have a car to drive down there. And this is talking about like from Seattle to these different locations. But if you live in like Yakima and you're able to get any young folk maybe who they live in Yakima, that's also fine. I think that this was meant thinking about folks in Seattle, but super flexible where you live. I'm sure there's an opportunity to also maybe do this. So thank you. Okay, I know we're almost at questions, I promise. Calling for Canvas leads. This is a calling for anybody who might feel so energized or so excited that they are willing to get a little bit trained up to support us, the Washington Actions, depending on where you live, or if you're willing to drive to the different locations that we will be supporting, Bellingham, the Islands, Vancouver, and Yakima. We, especially Vancouver and those other two, the Bellingham and the Islands, lead specific efforts and actions in one of our locations, help coordinate carpools. That one's flexible because we support with that too. Point of contact with campaign organization, kind of day of just logistics, supports day of logistics, point of contact for a group on the ground, plans out lunch locations, and leads debrief sessions. So if you were like, oh man, I've done plenty of Common Power trips and I feel like I'm ready to take this role, please, if you're interested, let us know. Would love to have you if this is something that you want to do, even if you're not, if you haven't gone to too many Common Power trips, totally open to you too. I think it's just about getting trained up, and honestly, it is pretty chill role. We'll make sure that you're prepared with everything, and most of it is just being there to greet our volunteers who are coming to the different locations and just support them throughout the time that they're canvassing. Oh, I don't know why that's there again. Sorry about that. Stay tuned. Go ahead, Jenny. We're almost closing and we'll have time for questions.
Stay tuned. Okay, what's coming up? Let's see. So call for actions, like what can you do starting today? So you can visit our Weekends of Action one-stop shop. In the follow-up email, you will get the link to that. But it's also in our Mobilize group page. You'll see it there. Or you can also sign up for our Weekends of Action this weekend. For Yakima specifically, July 27th to the 28th. And then also August 4th to 6th. Right now we don't have dates for Vancouver, but they will be announced soon. It all, like we said, it does come, last minute, being flexible. So there will be dates coming up for sure for Vancouver as well.
Right now, to be completely honest, right now what we're dealing with we have a canvas lead, like we mentioned, Cynthia Putnam, but we do we're trying to figure out who can lead down. I mean, it's probably going to be me or someone else who might be willing to step up to head to Vancouver the weekend of the primary. So August 4th through the 6th. It doesn't have to be all the days, but yeah, we're kind of working on what does those logistics look like. But we do have for sure the Yakima ones at the moment. Cool. And this is what, if you're interested in joining us in Yakima for the weekend of up to the primary. Then this is what it's mostly going to look like. We're actually going to be supporting the Washington bus. They're going to be doing some get out the vote efforts down there. And so this is separate from our campaign work. So just wanted to kind of point that out. And so August 4th, we'll be joining the bus, the Washington bus, in Sunnyside, Washington, to do some get out the vote efforts. And we'll be meeting them at 11 a.m. Then we're going to head to the doors, and it says, some details may change. This is an agenda that is kind of tentative, like this is what it might look like. Again, things might change, so we appreciate flexibility, but for sure we're meeting at 11 a.m. in Sunnyside, Washington on the 4th. The rest is kind of like, it can be moved around maybe. 11:30 head to doors, 1 p.m. lunch the CP way. We'll always have lunch, no worries. 2 p.m. back to the doors, and then 4 p.m. resume our day together. And then we'll leave the Washington bus friends, and then on the and then on the 5th and 6th, the 5th and the 6th will be the same shifts. So, and this will be with the campaign, with the Maria Beltran campaign. And we're trying to see how we can involve Chelsea's campaign as well, logistically. We'll have to figure that. We're still kind of in talks with that. But the shifts look like this for now, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Sign waving. They're still trying to get, make sure that the last couple of days, people are recognizing her name, people see her face. And so, I mean, I've done some sign waving before, and it's super fun. It's also before the heat gets too crazy. So if you're a morning person and you want to join us for that, that would be really fun. Just kind of standing and just waving signs for Maria. Then we probably join up and do a little lunch the CP way. 4 to 6. I know this is phone banking. So the reason why they're hosting phone banks during that time in the day is because it does get so hot. So they want to make sure that there's still some action going. But, I know some folks, we don't always love phone banking, but if our partner is asking us to do it, we'll do our best to accommodate to those needs. So I put it up there in the itinerary, in the shift. I think folks who really are flexible and want to do the phone banking, I think we should totally do it and support our partners. And then 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. door knocking. So this is going to be in the evening, and it actually gives us a pretty higher percentage of we'll get folks at the doors because people will be at home, people will be either returning from home or at home. So I'm actually kind of excited to be door knocking at that time of day to get some more folks hopefully at the door. So that's 6:30 to 8:30, and hopefully the heat also will not be as crazy at that time. So this is what the agendas look like for that weekend leading up to the primary. And this is block your calendars, because starting September, well, you see August there, starting September again in October, I don't think we even show September, because we'll have probably some weekends in September where we're still doing some work with the different locations, the different campaigns and candidates. But for sure, you can block these weekends in October, because we'll definitely be out there doing some really important work to get gearing up to the general election. And October is our last big push. So if you don't have time today, tomorrow, in the next few weeks, I hope that you can join us at least in the last few weeks of October leading up to the general election. We know how important it's going to be. So hopefully that helps you kind of get an idea of how when we're going to be on the ground leading up to November. And nothing, of course, at this time, nothing is concrete of what locations, or we know we're going to be in the different locations we mentioned. We don't know the times yet. We don't know because our partners are not there yet. But once they are there once we get the information, we'll put it all on the sign-up forms. But this is just for you to block your calendar, because we're most likely going to be doing these weekends is what we're saying. Awesome. Okay, now here are our upcoming big events for Common Power. And we hope that you can join us, because they're going to be very essential and important for you to understand the strategy behind what states we're visiting. This first one here, the call to action, general election kickoff, is going to be on August 1st at 5 p.m. on Zoom. This is for everybody, not just for Seattleites, not just for local folks. This is for everybody who wants to know what's happening, where we're going, who we're going like to support, the team leads that are going to be leading those efforts in the different states. You'll be able to talk to those team leads, to the regions. We're splitting it up in regions. So West Coast, there's going to be opportunities in Oregon, in Montana, and Washington. So make sure that you're there so that you can find all that information, hear about all that information. And then on the 3rd is where it gets a little bit more narrow in terms of our in terms of our demographics and who can be there. It's at the Mohai in Seattle. So if you are local to Seattle, we would love for you to be there. I'll be there. Jenny will be there. Our Canvas leads will be there talking about Washington. We'll have, we'll actually be able to hear it live from the Democratic Party chairs and enjoy food, drinks, and music in community. So the first one's very structured. We'll have the Zoom is going to be like, here's a presentation. It's very presentation feeling, and then of course the rooms, the breakout rooms, so you can talk to the different team leads, and then the in-person at Mohai will definitely be a little bit more loose, except for the Democratic Party chairs, kind of when they're gonna be presenting to us, and then yeah, so hopefully you get to join us for these. And that's going to be again the 3rd, August 1st and August 3rd. Okay, we've come to the Q&A. I know we gave you all so much, so thank you for your patience and thank you for hearing us out. Feel free to raise your hand or put something in the chat, and then we'll go from there. Hi, Sue.
Hi. Thanks. This is really good background for what you're trying to do. So 2 questions. I assume you pair up first timers with a more experienced partner, right? And there's some kind of, orientation at the beginning in terms of the messaging and all of that in the, that specific campaign that we're supporting.
Yes, actually, this is great feedback, and I'm sure Jenny is going to take some notes. Last time we included some stuff that we got from feedback last time, and this is really helpful. When you're in it, sometimes we don't think, oh, all these details that we have to share.
Sure.
This is really helpful because, yes, to answer your questions, Sue, we do get that orientation from the campaigns from the beginning, and we also have those awesome brochures that they hand out. So we're definitely going to be prepared to go out. We do have we will have folks to pair you with if if this is your first time, whatever the case may be. I assure you, you'll feel, I guess, accompanied and never left alone, or also just supported.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. The other question is this. So, I can't do any of the state trips just because I have limitation of how much time I can spend on my feet at a crack. But the kind of state efforts that you're talking about seems like they'd be more durable. But if you had to, kind of estimate, how much time would you say that, volunteers are spending on their feet on these weekends?
Okay, I think like each shift, it's around 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
And you're definitely walking most of those hours, I think. But again, obviously there's breaks if you need them.
Sure.
We don't force anybody to do the 3 hours. It's really just as much as you can do, Sue. We don't want to limit anybody or say, you can only do this much or don't do this much. So it's up to you what you want to and can contribute. If you can do half the shift, that's okay too. I think, or if you can only do one shift, right? So it's really important to just communicate that, but we're happy to have you, whatever you can. Yeah.
Got it. All right. Well, as we get into the sign up forms, maybe I'll reach out and just say, I can do a shift, but can I volunteer some way, drive the car, whatever, the other half of the
Yeah,
day?
that's exactly, that's actually really great, because if you could, maybe do have the turf, or have the shift, sorry, on your feet, and then you're like, hey guys, you know what? I'm happy to just drive. That
Yeah.
is perfectly fine.
Got it. All right. Thanks so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Sue. Hi, Rod. Oh, you're muted, Rod. There you
So
go.
that's one of the things we learned in Arizona last week or whenever it was, that we spent a lot more time in the car and much less time walking.
Yeah.
And we found the car drivers were really important.
Oh, yeah.
So sorry to comment, I don't know, just to comment that you can do a lot less walking if you're structured to do that. We sort of learned that on the run because we had to.
Yeah, no, that's true. Actually, when we were in Yakima last time, the person who drove us and was canvassing with us was like, I can't do anymore, guys. I'm happy to drive you all, and literally just drop us off right next to like 5 houses. We all did the houses, came back in the car, and kept driving. So totally flexible with that. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. That's a great, thank you for that comment, feedback, Rod. Anybody have any other questions? I realize now, after Sue's question, we are missing some pieces of the logistics here. I want to just add that we did talk about sponsorship lodging. We didn't talk about lodging in general. There will be a recommended hotel where our Canvas leads or our sponsor folks might stay, but Common Power, in this case, in the scenario, Washington Weekends of Action, will not be having a hotel block because there's just not enough people who are joining these efforts. Maybe in the fall there will be, but I think even then we won't have like a hotel block or anything like that. Also because we want to be flexible, some folks might want to stay with family, or if they have family somewhere in Oregon, if we're going to Vancouver, for example. So it's really up to you to kind of make those arrangements for yourself in terms of the hotel. If you want to stay with us, great. I mean, like at the hotel that we recommend, but not necessary. So I just wanted to kind of point that out. Awesome. Any other questions or thoughts? We will have a follow-up, so you don't have to have all the questions. Also, you can email us.
That's really
Hopefully-
helpful, MJ. Thank you, and Jenny. I think we're going to get a few people to sign up over the next week or so. So
Amazing. Thank you, Rod. And again, I'm going to add those dates for Vancouver pretty soon here. Hoping that, we get some folks to go on the 4th, just like we're going to have folks hopefully go for Yakima. We have some folks already signed up for Yakima for the 4th week, for the weekend of the 4th through the 6th. But I know that I'm trying to get some more info about Vancouver. So that's upcoming, and we'll definitely send out information soon. Great. Any other questions or thoughts?
it would be great if you could get this out, the recording out as soon as possible, so we can show it to the people that want to come.
Yes, that's a great, yeah, we will for sure. We'll send it to you tomorrow, Rod. We'll send you because Zoom doesn't, we'll have it till like today, later today.